When you hear the words Underground Railroad, you might picture a simple escape path, a secret trail to freedom. That's wrong. It was a war zone, a clandestine network of spies, safe houses, and soldiers waging a guerrilla war against the institution of slavery. And in this secret war, there was one field commander, one general, who never lost a battle and never lost a soldier under her command. Her name was Harriet Tubman. She was born into the brutal world of slavery in Maryland around 1822. From a young age, she endured the casual cruelty of the system. The turning point of her life came as a teenager. An enraged overseer threw a 2-pound metal weight at another slave, but it struck Harriet in the head. The injury was severe. It would leave her with debilitating headaches, seizures, and narcoleptic episodes for the rest of her life. But it also gave her something else: vivid, powerful visions, which she believed were direct communications from God. This injury, this scar, became the source of her unwavering faith and her absolute conviction in her mission. Her first mission was her own liberation. In 1849, she made a solo 100-mile journey to freedom in the North, navigating by the North Star and her sheer force of will. But upon reaching Philadelphia, her freedom felt hollow. The joy was overshadowed by a profound loneliness. As she later stated, "I was free, but there was no one to welcome me to the land of freedom. I was a stranger in a strange land. My father, my mother, my brothers and sisters and friends were in Maryland, but I was free, and they should be free." This was the moment the escapee became a liberator. Her personal freedom was meaningless if her family was still in chains. But her freedom was not enough. She famously said, "I was free, but there was no one to welcome me to the land of freedom. I was a stranger in a strange land." Driven by her visions and a profound sense of duty, she made a decision of almost unimaginable courage. She would go back. Over the next decade, she returned to the slave states of the South at least 13 times, a wanted fugitive with a bounty on her head, to personally guide more than 70 people, including her own family, to freedom. This was where she became a general, and she had her own code of war. The journeys themselves were grueling tests of endurance and faith. Tubman guided her groups through dense forests and icy rivers, often traveling for weeks at a time with little food and the constant threat of slave catchers and their dogs hot on their trail. She had to be a master of wilderness survival, a medic for the sick, and a beacon of hope for the terrified. Her narcoleptic episodes could strike at any moment, forcing her to rely on the discipline of her soldiers to protect her while she was unconscious. Her perfect record was not a matter of luck. It was a testament to her incredible skill and resilience in the face of unimaginable hardship. Her tactics were brilliant. She was a master of intelligence, using her network of spies, free blacks, white abolitionists, and Quakers to map out routes and gather information. She was a master of timing, almost always launching her raids on a Saturday night, knowing that the runaway notices couldn't be placed in the newspapers until Monday morning, giving her a crucial 2-day head start. She was a master of stealth, moving through the wilderness at night and using spiritual songs like "Go Down Moses" and "Wade in the Water" as coded messages to communicate with her passengers and allies. And she was a strict commander. She carried a pistol on her missions, not just for defense against slave catchers, but as a tool of discipline. If a runaway lost their nerve and threatened to turn back, she would pull her gun and give them a choice: "You'll be free or die." A single person turning back could compromise the entire network and doom everyone else. It was a brutal choice, but it was the choice of a general responsible for the lives of her soldiers. It was this discipline that led to her perfect record. She never lost a single passenger. When the Civil War erupted, her skills were too valuable to ignore. She joined the Union Army, serving not just as a nurse and a cook, but as a scout and a spy. Her ability to move unseen through enemy territory and gather intelligence from the local enslaved population was invaluable. Her strategic value as a spy was unparalleled. As a black woman, she could move through Confederate territory in ways no white male soldier could. She could blend into the background, gathering intelligence on troop movements and supply lines directly from the enslaved people who trusted her implicitly. She established a network of local scouts and river pilots from the slave community, creating an intelligence apparatus that was far more effective than the Union's official channels. She was not just a source of information, she was a spymaster. Her greatest military achievement was yet to come. In June 1863, she became the first woman in American history to lead an armed military raid. Working with Colonel James Montgomery, she helped plan and guide a Union assault up the Combahee River in South Carolina. She led the riverboats through Confederate torpedoes, using her intelligence network to pinpoint the locations of enemy positions and wealthy plantations. The raid was a stunning success. They routed the Confederate forces, destroyed millions of dollars worth of supplies, and most importantly, liberated over 750 slaves. This wasn't just a conductor on a railroad, this was a military commander executing a successful amphibious assault. After the war, the nation she had fought for seemed to forget her. Despite her incredible service as a soldier and a spy, the U.S. government denied her a military pension for decades. She spent years fighting a new battle, this time against bureaucracy, living in poverty while advocating for the rights of veterans, freed slaves, and women. Her fight for freedom did not end with the abolition of slavery. In her later years, she became a prominent and passionate voice in the women's suffrage movement, working alongside leaders like Susan B. Anthony. She saw the fight for women's right to vote as a direct continuation of her fight for Black liberation. To her, freedom was not divisible. In her final act of service, she used her own funds to open the Harriet Tubman Home for the Aged, a facility to care for elderly and indigent African Americans, ensuring that even in her old age, she continued to serve the community she had fought so hard to free. Her legacy is far greater than just that of an abolitionist hero. She was a master strategist, a guerrilla commander, a spy, and a military leader who fought a lifelong war against slavery on multiple fronts. She was a woman who turned a debilitating injury into a source of divine strength, who used faith as a compass and songs as a code. They called her Moses, but the title she truly earned was that of a general. And that is the architecture of the generalship of Harriet Tubman. Remember, history is more than a story, it's a code, and there is always another layer to decrypt. Subscribe and continue the investigation with us.